Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 702, Infinite Game Mode Wishes, recorded live on October 4th, 2019. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am Duststorm and I am solo for this first part. We're going to be actually recording this podcast in two parts because right now GT's internet went kaput. Apparently, Bio and Bobby decided to pay him a visit and give him crappy internet. So for the time being, there is no GT, but we're hoping it'll be back tomorrow on Friday before we do Fragging Fridays. That way we can get him on and talk about some of the stuff that we want to talk about. We had the blunt instruments that we read for the kind of short story from Evolutions. We have the poll results of the book. I'm going to save that for the part B of the recording. And then we got our main discussion, which we decided on going with what game modes would we like to see reintroduced or brand newly introduced into Halo. So we got some responses for that, and we'll go over those results and discuss them a little bit. Jumping into kind of what we normally start with, we start with our Fragging Friday review, continuing the internet issue thread. Apparently there was some streaming technical issues that GT had last week. I think they streamed for about 45 minutes before he had to drop the stream. And I don't know what the details were behind that, but we'll get a little bit more of that tomorrow. And we went over and played some of the randoms, which is, for those that are part of the lobby, it's one of those 2-hour long, I think it was actually almost, it was 2-3 hours long, where it's just random weapons and 200 kills, and usually Keys wins. So we didn't quite have a Fragging Friday or a full one, but it still happened. People were still on them playing, and we're hoping tomorrow will be a lot better. The lobby might be split a little bit. I will probably be on for the first part of Fragging Friday and then hop on over to Reach and play some Invasion for the MCC Insider, which is going on right now. It came out yesterday for those that were invited to the Insider. So for those that are have been invited, just reach out to us. We'll probably be splitting up the two lobbies. I'll be streaming on my personal channel, and then the Fragging Fridays with GT will be on the main channel on Podtacular. So we're continuing to go on Halo 5 there, and it should be good. We'll probably get some reach in once that launches on the MCC. It sounds like things are coming along pretty nicely, with this being the last flight. And there's technically another flight after this. They want to do PvP on PC, but this is kind of the last bug testing flight that they're doing. I think we're going to be pretty close to seeing Reach come to console. It will most likely be this year, if I had to guess. At least that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So hopefully we'll see that. And if people want to play Reach when it comes out on MCC, then we will look at doing Reach. I think that's something that a lot of people would enjoy. For the achievement stream that I did with Laird on Sunday, we got a few more achievements. We got Killjoy, which is disrupting 5 active leader powers in a single game on Blood River, which helps if you read the fine print, because we actually had to do that one twice because I didn't realize it had to be on Blood River the first time. So we played that one twice. Oh, and go figure, the community spotlight's out. Which is nice, because then we can talk about it tomorrow instead of tonight. So actually kind of works in our favor for tonight. So part B, we'll be covering that in the episode. Next achievement we got was running the show, which is 130 skirmish games in multiplayer matches. And then the fourth one is actually two more. Third one is Don't Stop Me Now, win 40 skirmish games in multiplayer matches. And then the last one was Maximum Effort, which is win 50 skirmish games in multiplayer matches. Laird and I think that we can probably get the rest of the achievements done on Sunday. So if we're not doing Reach, which we might skip this Sunday and leave it to the following Sunday to finish out Halo Wars Definitive Edition. But either way, the next time that we play Halo Wars Definitive Edition, we think we can get me 100% on that. Bobby and I have also been going through and doing the general rank for the original Halo Wars, so that will be 100% soon as well. After that is the decision to either go back into Halo Wars 2 if I have achievements in that still to get, which I think I still do, or look at some of the top-down shooters. And then there's also the Halo 3 single-player achievements, or the FFA achievements. With the population low on that one, it might be a little bit easier to get. We are going to coordinate that and make it to an open thing where people can come in and try to get those achievements with us so we can kind of stage them a little bit. There's also a Halo 4. I have one Halo 4 one as well, which is assassinating a ball carrier and ricochet within 5 meters of your goal. So that'll have to get set up as well. So lots of little tidbits here and there. And then there's the MCC Lazo, and there's a couple other MCC ones that I've been working on the side as well. Some are CTF specific medals, King of the Hill specific medals, headshots, melees, that kind of stuff. So it's just grinding out Halo 2 Anniversary objective and just trying to get those. Environment kills is still kind of up there a little bit too. Those are kind of difficult to get nowadays, and might just have to farm that one with some people as well. We'll see what happens. That's an update for the streams that we've had this past week. Going down into some Halo 5 and MCC matchmaking updates. We had a community vote, which the Halo Twitter account put out a poll on whether people wanted to see Griff Ball or Triple Team. There were over 11,000 votes on Twitter, and 65% of the votes went to Griff Ball. So as of today, Griff Ball has been rotated in for ODST Slayer, which I'm kind of sad ODST Slayer's gone because I played it on one day. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday. It was probably Saturday for a good 2 hours, and I actually really enjoyed it, except for the part where I had idiots on my team and I was backpacking everybody. The last game that I played, which is the game I ended up winning, I went 31-11, and that was with 2 betrayals. So I backpacked the heck out of my team to get that one win. But it was good. Had a lot of fun with it. Didn't get to play on every map, but it was something that I hope they bring back, because I would like to save some of those maps, and I didn't go in and save the ones I played, and I actually didn't play on every map, but I hope they bring it back because it was a lot of fun. Griff Ball's in there for now, and then next week we will get Covenant Slayer in for Shoddy Snipes. So that's our Halo 5 update. For the Master Chief Collection, we have FFA and infection stuff being updated because it is October. So there is also the option to get the Flood nameplate as well. If you don't have that from previous years, all you have to do is complete 10 games of infection and social matchmaking. And they check that every Friday. And if you get the 10 games, then you will get the nameplate. You have from now until the end of October, so October 31st, to play at least 10 games of infection. And if you do that, you'll get the nameplate. If you already have the nameplate, you don't need to do it again, but it's October, so why not? There have been some adjustments to the infection playlists in Halo 2 Anniversary. They've temporarily removed Hive Mind due to some issues with map geometry. In Halo 4, they've added Standard Flood to Skyline and Daybreak. And across all games of infection, they've made some minor tweaks to map and game variant waiting. So that's our update for MCC. We do have an article with some MCC development. So this was our September issue from Postums. Currently, for this flight that is out on MCC Insider right now, they're focusing on feature works for the project and bug fixing. Most of the features are complete, but they're just putting some last polish on it. And then obviously bug fixing is the never-ending stress that is development. So that's still going on. Some of the more recent bugs, which they've actually squashed through the Ring 0, Ring 1, and Ring 2 testing, are fixing crashes on entering and exiting matchmaking games, which is a pretty big one. Fixing a few weapons that were firing or overheating twice as fast as intended. Crashes when opening and exiting settings menus frequently. Missing voice lines when using any non-English language during the ending cinematic for Lone Wolf. And a soft lock when accepting game options before starting a mission. So those are some of the bugs that were squashed before this insider build went out to all the Ring 3 insiders that are now streaming this. For the legacy maps and migrations, they mentioned before that you would have to first load the maps that were transferred on your Xbox and then get them over to PC. Well, now you don't have to do that anymore. So if for some reason you haven't been playing MCC on Xbox, or you kind of put Halo to the side because you started doing PC gaming and you haven't gotten MCC before, well, now if you get MCC on PC, you do not have to load up MCC on your Xbox to get the things that you transferred from your file share. You do, however, have to launch your Xbox version of MCC if you want files that are in your MCC file share to be shared across both platforms. So I'm guessing at some point there's going to be a universal update where basically it'll kind of have to update the versions of the maps to be compatible with the new build of the game. So in order to get those maps, and it probably actually updates the file share mechanism. So hopefully they expand it like GT has been ranting on, and I've been saying that they need to make some changes in order to support all the game modes that they're going to be importing into MCC. So probably the new file browser, hopefully, and customs game settings will require a full upgrade of both systems. But it's nice to know that for those that are just diving into Halo on PC, since maybe Halo 3 or Halo Reach was the last time they played Halo, and they want to play it on PC, it's nice to know they don't have to go through the heartache of finding someone with an Xbox, logging into their gamer tag, and transferring them that way. So, nice little update. They also show off some of the Halo Reach customization that they've been working with. Nothing is final yet. They are still in the development phase and choosing which armor sets to put in there. The plan is that anything that was already included in the base game or DLC for Reach, as far as armor customization goes, will be available at some point within the game. There's additional stuff that they're looking to add, some stuff that was not in the game, but it was in development of Reach, and probably some requested community favorites or some backports into the game as well. So those are being looked at, but they're not guaranteed at this point. There's a couple of different Max Slagger. I always get that name mixed up. Their first one here is about the customization of the game for the stuff that's coming in Reach. And then there's another section in here regarding anti-cheat. So we'll start with the customization first. The one question to really take away that I thought was kind of the most relevant here was Postums first asked, what did the overall process entail of getting armors ready to go and be used in the Unreal 4 engine? And Max says, it was quite an effort to get the armors working with Unreal and MCC. We had to go back to the original armor source files created in long-lost versions of our 3D art modeling packages. From there, we had to restore the tools and pipeline needed to export those models to Unreal. So basically, all the tools that they used to develop Halo, they had to go and dig those back out, get them working, get the 3D model files that they used in those programs, and find a way to export those in the format that Unreal would read. And that required combing through a lot of old documentation and reaching out to people about how things worked back in 2010. Once we could display these assets in Unreal, there was a lot of additional texture, lighting, effects, and animation work to further polish and tweak the armors to look great in the Unreal renderer. But we are happy with how things are looking now and where they have come from over the past several months of work. So at least they got the Unreal part working, and it sounds like there's a lot of stuff that they had to do to get everything to work in Unreal to begin with. For the anti-cheat, there's a couple of questions in here. Pulled out, I think, the ones that were probably most relevant again. So Postums asked, what was the driving force behind selecting anti-cheat as our official cheat detection solution? So Easy Anti-Cheat is actually the name of the solution. Max responds, the main goal is to create and maintain a safe gameplay environment. We have had this for quite some time on console, as we are able to leverage the great work done by the hardware and platform teams. So it sounds like this is a solution that's actually used on Xbox already. I didn't take the chance to do any research on this, so my bad there, but maybe we'll talk about it a little bit further down the road. In the world of PC gaming, we felt that we could benefit from additional expertise and software to tackle the large variety of PC configurations out there. What will this do to help us in protecting our customers? Postums asks, and Max responds, Easy Anti-Cheat allows us to detect when users are modifying game content or trying to manipulate the game to their advantage. Pretty much what anti-cheat's meant to do anyways. Pretty much. Postums asks, so last month we concluded Fireflight, which had Easy Anti-Cheat in the build, and each participant was required to install it to participate. What did we learn about that from the flight? From here, Max responds, there is a lot of software out there that is flagged by anti-cheat software, and it's important for users to help us understand what kinds of software they run and what triggers the anti-cheat warnings. We have already seen instances of antivirus software being flagged when trying to play in our flights, and the more we flight, the better we can filter the types of programs allowed when running Halo the Master Chief Collection. So yeah, that's something that needs to be checked off there. Especially antivirus, because everybody has it, and you really don't want that to cause you not to be able to play the game. And I'm sure there's going to be other software that people will be running, and they'll cause anti-cheat to trip, and I'm sure there'll be lots of support tickets for 343 to dig through, and it's like, oh, this is a legitimate program, put that one on the filter. For the flighting update, if you are invited, maybe you haven't had a chance to install the build yet or haven't tried it out yet, there are 4 main steps that you have to do to get involved with this flight. First one, it's pretty simple. You got to install the Xbox Insider app if you haven't had it already. Second one, if you were part of a previous Insider program, so like the Halo MCC Insider from this past winter, you have to delete any builds that you currently have. And then after that, you must unenroll from the old flight rings. So if you go into the Xbox Insider app, that's where you manage the Insider rings that you are part of. And the old one is titled Halo MCC Insider. If that's the one you're enrolled in, you need to unenroll from that Insider program, and then the new one will pop up. I think it's just titled MCC Insider. So it doesn't have the Halo at the front of it. And I'm looking at my Xbox now just to verify. So you have to install the Insider app, delete old builds, and unenroll from old flight rings. And then after that, you enroll in the new one and install the new build. So the Insider build for this new round is called MCC Insider Program. So it doesn't say Halo MCC Insider. It says MCC Insider Program. So again, if you see Halo MCC Insider, you need to unenroll from that one and then enroll in the MCC Insider Program. There's no need to hold any of the old builds anymore. So just unenroll and then enroll in the new one, and you're set to go. They also have a note on dual card graphics setups, because a lot of people run those for very high gaming portfolio type of PCs. And Postums adds in here, a key part in getting ready to close out a project is the process of identifying what video cards and various setups will work and be supported. In this process, we have been in talks with several video card makers to ensure that we have as many cards as possible being supported for MCC on PC through both our efforts and theirs. At this time, we want to let PC users know that NVIDIA SLI and AMD Crossfire graphics cards configurations will not officially be supported in MCC on PC. During our work with back and forth with the card manufacturers, it was determined that the performance offered by single card setups was high enough that SLI and Crossfire configurations would not be needed. For the users that do have dual card setups, you will still be able to run the title without any issues. So if you have the dual card setup, you'll be fine, but you don't gain any benefit for MCC specifically running in a dual card setup. That's basically what that boils down to. If you're in the MCC Insider, there are going to be several different scheduled PlayStation sessions. So you'll see people be streaming these throughout the weekend and up until next week. So yesterday was 4v4 Social. Today, as of this recording, which is Thursday, is Halo Reach Team Hardcore. And unfortunately, right now, the social playlists are down. So if you want to just kind of go and have a relaxing time, it's not currently there, which is one reason why it's sweaty right now, as Laird mentioned in the chat earlier. Tomorrow on Friday is going to be Halo Reach Invasion. Halo Reach 4v4 Social will be on Saturday, which I will miss that one because I will be out of town. That'll be the 5th. On the 6th, which is Sunday, there'll be 8v8 Social. On the 7th, it'll be Halo Reach Team Hardcore again. On October 8th, which is Tuesday, it'll be 2v2 Social. And then on October 9th, to wrap it up, on Wednesday morning, it'll be 9v9 or 4v4 Social. Time frames for all of these playtests on each day are 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time, and then 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time for each day. So there is going to be plenty of options to either play if you're part of the Insider or to watch if, unfortunately, you're not. IGN first put out an article where they got 3 new screenshots of the Halo Infinite trailer. Obviously, they're not the specific camera angle shots, but they're 3 new shots nonetheless. Nothing really new here. They're just new screenshots with different angles from the same video that we got at E3. I don't know if there's anything to really identify here or pull out any new details from, but they're cool little shots. But again, nothing really substantial in these screenshots, I think. Again, this was posted over on IGN first. I don't think there's really anything added in here. Anyone else in the chat, if they know of anything that was found from these screenshots, feel free to shout out, but I don't think there was really anything in there too much. A bit of community update. We have HCS Pro Talk's next topic. They're asking for people's favorite montage, Halo montage of all time. So if you're part of their Discord, head on over, provide them a link, and give them a brief explanation of why you specifically think the montage that you think is your favorite. And unfortunately, Rage More Nerd is retiring from Griffball and stepping down as the Play Griffball admin. He's been a part of the Griffball community for 9 years and has been an administrator for Griffball and the AGLA for 5 years, for over 5 years. So right now he is stepping down. It's still Play Griffball and the AGLA are still running. This doesn't mean that things are stopping. The admin team that is still running it is going to be carrying that on, but Rage More Nerd is officially stepping down as the admin and is officially retiring from Griffball, which kind of sucks because he's been probably one of the more longer running Griffball folks that are still there. So it's sad to see him go. It was good to see him over this summer, but he's taken his step away. Rage, you've been a big influence on the Griffball community, and best wishes on your next endeavors. Gonna miss you out there on the Griffball court, bud. That's going to wrap up the first part of this podcast. Got quite a bit of stuff out of the way. We're going to be talking about our topic of the show, which we brought back in for this one and hopefully get some more going. We also have the Blunt Instruments short story from Evolutions we'll be talking about, and we'll talk about the poll, Silent Storm or Broken Circle. Next part starts now. Welcome to part 2, everybody. GT's back.
Yay!
Yay! So we can talk about the topics we actually were going to talk about. We went over some of the news yesterday, and we have the community spotlight to actually talk about, since it actually got posted in the middle of me recording part A last night. But welcome back to hopefully some less tech issues. I did mention that you had some streaming difficulties last week for Fraggin' Friday.
Yeah, and you won't believe what the problem was.
Oh, do tell. I always love a good tech story.
As people can see, I am using my A40s. Well, this cable right here unplugged about that freaking far. Not even far enough that I could tell it was unplugged by looking at it.
So people were...
Literally, you're looking at the width of a piece of paper is how far it unplugged.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So what was the issue? Because I hopped on probably around 10th-ish.
Well, I couldn't hear any sound. I couldn't hear chat. I couldn't hear the game. I couldn't hear nothing. So I thought it wasn't going out to the live stream.
Oh, no. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully tonight will be better.
Hopefully. Well, actually, I think tonight I'm just going to let you stream it. And I'm just going to tag along.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right. So we have a couple of things to do in this part B of the recording. So we talked about all the matchmaking updates already, talked about the MCC update for September. But to start things off, we're going to go over to the fun new little layout, which I still need to fix, which I think I'm actually going to fix this by doing a screen on my streaming PC and then just have everything be there and then pull the NDI from everything else there. So hopefully that'll fix it. That'll be in a couple weeks. But we have our community spotlight right here. And we've got a very, very beautiful piece of artwork to top things off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to the download version of this, I highly recommend you head on over to Halo Waypoint and check out the community spotlight, because picture paints a whole lot more words than we'll be able to say and describe on this podcast in audio form.
Yeah, it's a sweet looking picture, that's for sure.
Yep. This one was done by, I am going to butcher this name, but Skoinard? I have no idea. Sgoinard on Twitter. And this one is his personal, or his or her personal take on Chief. It's a very kind of metallic red look, kind of an older, kind of steampunkish like thing, and then has the hologram Cortana in there. Very, very cool and different kind of art style than what we normally see with the Halo art. So yeah.
You that are actually hanging around in the stream, if you would like, I do have, and you are participating in the MCC Insider, feel free to send me a message on Xbox Live. I got an open lobby, and I will be more than happy to go ahead and start the game night now.
Oh, double whammy.
We can have a little fun while we listen to the podcast, so just feel free to jump in.
That's going to be fun when we try to get to discussion time. We'll see how it goes.
It's Invasion. I can ignore Invasion. It's not like playing SWAT or some of these sweaty game types. It's just Invasion.
Yeah, that's hopefully not sweaty as it was last night, which was crazy. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. I haven't had a chance to really listen through any of the videos on here, but there's someone doing a piano cover of the Halo theme or the Truth and Reconciliation Halo theme.
Cool.
It goes by the handle of Hyper Octave Piano.
I think I ran across that earlier.
Really, just kind of
I
browsing through
don't know.
things.
I think I ran across it on YouTube somewhere.
Okay,
I may have. I may not have.
it's very possible. We live in a very niche community, so it could very well happen.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did a kind of envisioning or kind of a re-envisioning of is this the Vietnam Memorial? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
That's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So there's an art piece that's below the Halo one that gets referenced, but it's of a guy going to the Vietnam Memorial, and in the reflection of the wall, which is kind of a darker marble wall where it has all the names, um, it has kind of a shadowy reflection, right, of people that he served with or knew, and they kind of do that same thing with the Reach characters, and it's aptly named Reflections. I thought that one was really cool. And then we've got some more emoticon type images that were made. You got all the Chief helmets from the different variety of games. You got some ODST helmets. You got Noble helmets. There's a lot of Chief helmets. There's 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And these are done by Luminous Cactus. These are really cool. Make those as emoticons for Discord or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in here. This is probably one of the best roundups of community creations that I've seen for quite some time. Any other ones that really stick out to you? Oh, that's a funny happy birthday grunt one. That's cool.
That one does.
That one's really cool.
No, they're all really. It's a hard pick this week.
Yeah, this week is really good.
Although the Night of the Living Dead thing there looks pretty good, or whatever you call it.
This one?
Yeah, it's got the Grim Reaper in the background.
This almost looks like all of the platinum games that were on the original Xbox, because that's the original Xbox cut in half.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Or something like that. I don't know all the games back then.
I really ought to get... I've got the Mech Assault game with the controller. The big controller.
Oh, yeah?
I ought to get that thing out and play that one night.
That'd be a good streaming thing. It's probably pretty unique. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I'll have to check and see if it'll work with the 360. Because if not, I don't have any way to capture. Well, I do. I'd have to set it back up, but I don't have any way to capture video easily from an original Xbox.
Right. You'd have to have some kind of cable converter.
I mean, I still got the capture card that I used to have that has a component in. I could use that.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, we'll have to. That would be really cool to watch.
I may have to dig into that.
Colored pencils for this one, which is amazing. Again, really like the blend of blues and greens in that one. And we got a little Virgil, or an engineer. Probably more generic one, but this cute little engineer. Rage Cortana. Ragey Rampant Cortana.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Lots of good recreations from Halo games. More pencil art, pen art, watercolor. Oh, I guess this is also like Inktober for a lot of artists, so that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of these really cool things as well. So that's really cool to see. Ah, that's a cute little grunt.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that coaster. UNSC branded coaster. This is actually from the Crazy Spartan.
Cool.
So those in the set, I'd get one of those. Some mega constructs and other model toy pictures and poses. More tattoos, cosplay.
That tattoo is actually pretty cool. You go back up to the first one there.
The Covenant one?
That one? That almost looks like it was carved into the skin.
Kind of. You can see where, it's because that's still fresh. You can see the ink still there. It's still having to dry.
but not the way it's shaded and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like it was actually carved down in the skin.
Yeah. Got the little shaded edges. Yeah. Is that the same? That's not the same like imprint as the trader thing that the Arbiter got. I don't think that's the same symbol.
I honestly don't remember the brand.
Had to go back and look. Did you see this cosplay at all? Because it was floating around like Twitter and social media for a while.
The person's
These guys
head
are getting freaking nuts.
The person's head is actually in the helmet, so they have their head to the side.
God, that's got to be uncomfortable as hell, though.
Probably. I could just imagine them having one of those neck pillows that you would see on an airplane or something, it like wedged on the bottom there just to provide some comfort. Yeah, that's a good one. We've got some breast cancer awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So lots of pink themed screenshots, which is really cool. Oh, and this one I shared for Machinima Monday. It's not technically a Machinima, but it's a Mega Constructs animation, and it's been a while since we've actually seen a good one. This was actually sponsored by Mega Constructs and Mattel in a way, because he actually got a tub of Mega Constructs to make this animation. But it's really good.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend checking it out. And then there's an Eli X montage, and then all the Twitter stuff down here. This is the first time I think I've seen a Deja cosplay.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because I think the only time we've seen Deja is really in the Fall of Reach animated shorts, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Got some Reach screenshots from the Insider. People playing in that. Some clips, some Forge art. And to end it all off, we have Untitled Goose Game carrying the index running away from Master Chief. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's the update that we have for the Community Spotlight. That's the wrong scene. There we go. So yeah, on to our topics of discussion. So we have a couple of different things that we were planning for this week. Was there anything else that I need to touch on before we dropped into this? I think that was pretty much it. Yeah. So we've got Blunt Instruments, which we'll talk about. It's a short story within Halo Evolutions. It's about 3 chapters, 30 pages long, so that'll be a short conversation. And then we had 2 kind of polls and questions. So our topic of the week, we ended up choosing what game modes would you like to see introduced or come back to Halo? And then we have the poll results for the next book that we're going to read. More on that in a little bit. So let's talk Blunt Instruments. This is a short story on Black Team. And I don't think we've really seen Black Team much anywhere else, or at least I'm not familiar with other places that we've seen Black Team. At least not before this.
No. There really hasn't been any mention of them other than in this particular story.
And there are no names for any of Black Team's characters, and even looking at Halopedia. Oh, they actually do have a reference to them. So I honestly haven't dug into this too much. But we do have actually all of the Spartans named in the book. So I guess they have popped up in other places.
They did have them in, was it Escalations?
So looking at Halopedia, looks like they're in Escalation, Bloodline, and Evolutions.
Yeah.
Got some more reading to do. Yep, so Black Team does make an appearance again, and I guess we'll talk about it at some point. So this is a very short, isolated story. It takes place during the Human Covenant War conflict. I don't think we really got much of a time frame on this one as contained within the story itself. But Black Team consists of 4 Spartans. Margaret 053, Odo 031, Roma 143, and Victor 101, all Black 1, 2, 3, and 4 in series. throughout this whole short story, they're just regarded as Black 1, 2, 3, or 4, which is kind of, I guess, just different from the way that other stories have been told. Because you usually hear a lot of the Spartan 2s and 3s referring to everyone else by their proper names, not just their team identity.
Yeah.
And I'll chalk that up to just creative interpretation at the time this was written, because it was probably just written as a, hey, here's a fun little short story that can be added into the Halo universe, and that's about it. Did you want to kind of lead this one, since you normally lead the discussions on the books, or do you want me to kind of go?
You're doing fine.
All right. I'll keep going, and he'll chime in where possible. So this is a mission that Black Team is doing on the colony of Verge, and this is in the ruins of the city Ciudad de Arias. So there's apparently some planets that have a helium-3 rich deposits within the core of the crust of the planet. So Covenant will mine that, and there's these mining platforms that the Covenant will take along. And on this colony world, Black Team is sent to basically take out that mining platform. We get a little bit of recon from Black Team. They're setting up the strategy that they want to go with, and then they start navigating through the ruins to try to find a vantage point to start laying down their plans. And I believe it was Black 2. Yeah, Black 2 who discovers a Yanmei, or a drone, who has had some of his limbs torn off. Black 2 ended up kind of befriending him a little bit. He obviously saw that he had his limbs torn off, and he was going to shoot him, but then felt pity for him. And Black 2 had this kind of interpretive device on his arm, and he tried to speak to the drone. It didn't work, but then the drone had motioned to him to kind of give the interpretation device to him, and then they were actually able to communicate to one another. So Yanmei basically said that don't kill me. I'll help you figure out how to take this out. Because it seemed like that he knew that they were trying to take it out. And there's another little motive that this drone, which they nicknamed Hopalong, had. So because of Hopalong working for the platform, so the drones are the ones actually doing all the work, and then there's jackals and grunts that are actually directing and keeping all the drones in line to keep the mining facility going, or the mining platform going. Not sure why this specific drone was kind of left to die in this collapsed building, but he had some valuable intel, some entrances to underground tunnels where the mining platform was hovering overhead. And with that, they drew up a plan, and I think it was kind of within 10 or 12 hours they were going to execute their plan and take down the platform. So they get to a tunnel, an underground tunnel, like a metro tunnel, and they take that in. They come up with their plan, and then they all split off. So they have each member of Black Team is assigned to one kind of pylon of the mining platform, because they're anti-grav pylons, and each one has a C12 blow pack that they are basically going to stick on the 4 different pylons and take out the mining platform. From here, I think it was Black 2 or Black 3 or one of the other Black Team members found kind of a computer or command interface where they found out that these drones were actually drones that were didn't behave well with each other and didn't really coordinate, didn't cooperate with other drones or with other members of the Covenant. So they were basically enslaved to do work. It was a penal colony. So turns out Hopalong's motive for helping Black Team was meant as, I mean, it certainly helped Black Team, but it was also meant for him to free his drone brothers, cousins, whatever. Yes. So with that, I think, I can't remember if it was Black 2 or Black 3, but one of the Black Team members basically relayed the information that this was a penal colony and made things pretty complicated, because as soon as Hopalong had the ability to tell his buddies, hey, we're free, then the drones basically started attacking all of their Covenant enslavers, and they started trying to attack Black 4, or Black Team. They still had some work to do. Turns out Black 3 actually got lifted up by the Yanmei and fell from some height while trying to fight them off. And when all the Black Team was trying to report in to execute their plan, Black 3 was one of the only ones who did not report in. They could actually hear breathing over the comms, though. So Black 2 went to try to go find Black 3, while Black 1 and Black 4 came back to a train car that was on the Underground Metro and basically gave them 10 minutes to rendezvous and then get the hell out of Dodge. So Black 2 manages to find Black 3 and get them back to the Metro car, and then they ride out, get to a Pelican dropship, and that's the end of the story. It's a pretty short little story. It's a little bit different from the other stories that we've seen in Halo, but it's kind of gives you another perspective look at how the Covenant functions a little bit. Got anything to add to that, GT?
No, it's actually kind of a neat little story.
Yep.
Gives you a little bit of, a little look at, some other Spartans. I was really impressed with.
GT's focused.
No, I'm trying to think of the word. I was really impressed with the depth of detail in the story on this one. Even being just a short story, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, you actually got an interesting look at an area of the Covenant and how they operate that we don't really see anywhere else in the novels to this point. Having the penal colony and the mining platform is something that we haven't seen, at least up until this point. And then Black Team making an appearance, I'll have to follow up on that and see where that leads. If it's
I think the next time you hear from Black Team, they take on the Didact.
Okay, because they also show up in Bloodline, which is another graphic novel series, and then Escalation.
Yeah. Escalation is their last appearance.
Okay. At some point, we'll get to those graphic novels.
At some point.
So yeah, nice little story. And we'll probably do another one before the next actual novel that we'll do. But from there, let's go ahead and jump on into our discussion topic of the week. So we asked everyone, what game nodes would we like to see either introduced or make a comeback to Halo? So we'll go ahead and read some of the responses, see what the discussions are, and then we'll share what we would like to see within Halo Infinite. So starting off with Twitter, because we got quite a few responses on Twitter. From Halo Respawn, they said Mongoose Racing, and they tagged Duquesne.
Big surprise.
Big surprise there. Halo's always had a weird little knack for racing that just, it kind of works and it's fun.
Yeah.
But we haven't had an official supported race mode. Well, I guess we have one in Halo 5. It's not quite as clear cut as it was in Halo 1, but it works. There are plenty of race maps and all the checkpoints work, and so really the best implementations of race that we have been in Halo 1, I guess proper, not best. Halo 1, Halo Reach, and Halo 5. With the mindset of kind of having the open environment that they're going with right now for Infinite, I'm hoping there's some big environments to do something like race and multiplayer. So I think that'd be a cool thing.
Well, they've shown that they can build them with not firefight. I can't even think of the name of the mode right now. Brain fart. With Warzone. Thank you. With Warzone and also with Invasion and Halo Reach.
Oh, you mean just the size?
Just the physical size of the maps. So they have the capability of building maps that can support large combat areas.
Which we'll be playing a little Invasion tonight, possibly.
I already am. What do you mean?
I mean, for Fragging Friday.
By the way, 3-0. First game, 3-0.
Nice.
Actually, it was 3-2, but hey, I got to pad it however I can.
Very nice. So yeah, I think race would be something to keep in Halo. It's definitely a lot more of a niche community within the greater multiplayer community within Halo, but it's a lot of fun. And it does, I mean, it definitely started with Halo 1. I think the mechanisms and the engine can support it, infinite possibilities and all. So I hope we continue to see race being supported.
Yes.
They kind of shoehorned it into Halo 4, and they shoehorned it again into Halo 5, but with a lot better support. So I think it can only get better from there.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It just, in Halo 3, it was kind of created by the community.
Yep. I remember the very first race map, the Bungie 500.
Yeah.
On Foundry.
Then in Reach, they brought a lot of support for it. And, these are in the Bungie days.
Mm-hmm.
And then Halo 4, it kind of meh. They didn't really innovate on it.
Yeah.
But man, with Halo 5, it's amazing. Well, with Halo 5, it's a lot of it has to do with just the
Forge engine itself.
Yeah. The capabilities of Forge.
They really did a lot while keeping to the original Blam engine that Halo's been running on since Halo CE. So the fact that they were even able to do that with Halo 5 Forge is incredible, and I can't wait to see what they can do with Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Confel responds with breakout style game type, so I can finally finish those commendations. I think he misinterpreted the question, because who knows if we're going to have commendations in Infinite, and
I'm sure they'll have something.
They'll probably have something, but
I'm real sure they're going to have something. It's not going to be, you're going to have some type of unlock system. It's just a matter of what you're going to unlock.
Right, but it's going to be new commendations. It's not going to be existing ones. So
no, but yes, it would be nice if they would at least do something for Halo 5 that would allow people to finish those commendations if they so choose.
Breakout was a very miss game mode.
Yeah, it was a meh. I mean, I liked the concept of it.
The concept's nice, but it belongs in its own kind of subset of Slayer.
Yeah.
It didn't deserve its own game mode.
If they would have mixed it in with just the 4v4 Slayer as a game type, it probably would have done a lot better. But being that it was its own standalone playlist, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that killed it.
Well, they were trying to make that the competitive aspect of Halo 5, and it flopped hard.
Well, that, I will agree, is not Halo.
No.
That format is not Halo, and that's stepping way too far away from the roots. I agree. At that point, it doesn't even feel like Halo. And that's even beyond the armor abilities. Or Spartan abilities, in this case.
Both.
Which, for the most part, I'm okay with. But yeah, Breakout was just too big of a change.
It really was. Gotta give the pros their time to actually make the competitive mode. And I think they did that isolated from the competitive team that was there. And it just didn't work well for those decisions. But we got Halo Infinite. They've learned from their experience with 5, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more kind of that traditional 4v4 game modes and layer approach for competitive going forward.
Yeah.
You need a Kraken, or you need Spookin, as he's named himself on Twitter for this month. Says, take the Saber mission from Halo Reach and turn it into a space combat mode like Battlefront's Starfighter Assault. I would love to see a space battle mode in Halo. That's kind of one of those game modes I feel is also in line with what's the PUBG
Battle Royale.
Yeah. I feel that's almost one of those. It's not completely separate. You could have it in the Halo game, but it's almost like the game mode is different enough where that could probably be a separate experience aside from the Halo games. I'd love to see it, but that's a pretty significantly different experience.
Yeah, that borders on being on the same level as Breakout. Yes, it does follow the theme of Halo, but it's not something that really want to do.
I would enjoy it if they did it.
Oh yeah, I would enjoy it. But that would be probably a good thing for one of the side games.
Yeah. To Kraken's point, though, within Battlefront's game, it does have the normal first-person shooter stuff and the Starfighter Assault. So it's not like you can't have both experiences in the same game. But I feel that Star Wars has that established not cooperative, but they have that established connection within their franchise because it is a lot of the on-ground shooting and a lot of the space battles. Even in the movies, it's that way. So that connection is already there.
Yeah, with Star Wars, it's space battles. It's always been space battles. I mean, how can you not have a space battle when you have things called the Death Star? Or the Death Planet, or whatever the hell they called it. I don't know what they called it.
This is the Death Star.
No, the bigger one.
Oh.
The new one.
Star Killer Base.
Yeah, Star Killer Base. That's what it was. But it's kind of in the it's kind of in the name, Star Wars.
But at the same time, with the movies, you have the saber combat.
Star Wars, it always had both. Where Halo has always been more ground focused.
Right. It is in space and it is futuristic.
Yeah, you have flight style missions, and actually I think all the games had a flight mission.
Not Halo 1?
Halo 1 did.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you had the Banshee. Yeah, yep.
It wasn't
Two
really
Betrayals.
a whole mission, but
It's two Betrayals is close-ish. Half of it was flight.
Yeah.
Flight. Halo 2, yep. Halo 3.
the Scarab fight.
Yeah, I guess it had a flight section.
Halo
And
3
then,
probably has.
of course, Halo 4.
Yes.
You had the Gauntlet run for Halo 4. Then Reach had the space battle.
That was so cool.
ODST had you flying through the sewers. Then Halo 5, you had the one mission you could do with the... You could either do it on foot or you could take the Phaeton. Either way.
Yes. So yeah, there's been flying of some kind, but there hasn't really been that outer space battle except in Reach.
Yeah.
There's a lot of novelization of it within Halo, so it definitely fits within the universe, but it just has never really made its game debut. And Sins of the Prophets, while it is space battles, it's not that first-person space battle. And we got our taste of that in Reach. Yeah, that's one of those experiences I would love to experience and play, but I don't know if they would include it within Infinite. I mean, again, infinite possibilities and whatnot. But yeah, that's a difficult one. Youngest Eagle on Twitter, he says, "Scream from the two of the hills." I don't know what he means by the two of the hills, but basically screaming Dominion.
Yeah.
That was an interesting mode from 4. And it's interesting because 5 also introduced the kind of control point thing. So Dominion is almost like you're holding a certain control point or certain set of control points, and then in Halo 5 they introduced strongholds, which is also kind of that continuing evolution of a little bit of King of the Hill style VIP type of thing. So it seems like they're always toying with that specific game mode to introduce something new. But Dominion is definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. It kind of plays off on the same place.
It's territories in King of the Hill.
Yeah.
A little more, I guess a little more to territories.
Mm-hmm.
Strongholds is a lot more of a mix between King of the Hill and territories than Dominion.
Yeah. Yeah, Dominion is a territory King of the Hill.
Right. In addition to that, we're going to jump over to Facebook because Carlton Hatcher also says Dominion in his post. He said the opinion for playing the game type Dominion was available, or the option was available as long as you knew what specs you needed in a custom game, but they never brought it back after Reach. I think you meant after 4. It brought more skill to the game since the majority of the time I get matched with people who go their own way. Dominion, you had to not only make sure there was no enemies in the hill during capture, but also keep an eye out for openings in the hill where enemies could pop out. I was the person who thoroughly enjoyed the skill it took to complete a round with an actual team. And the other interesting thing, which I know they kind of went away with this because it was a Halo 4 mechanic, but the reinforcements for controlling one of the bases in Dominion was also a really cool little feature to play off of as well. Almost kind of, you can think that can get combined with Tower Power.
Yeah.
You hold a certain control point and that gives you an advantage. But it's not impossible to take over. So yeah.
No, it's not. I mean, you can get in there and you can take the point. And you don't have to have a super large force to actually capture a base. It's more distract and attack.
Yes, and flank and try to take over bases. Moot from the Project Contingency team, he responds on Twitter, whatever you want. Halo 5 scripting allowed for things like one flag CTF while it's not natively supported. I expect the stock ones to be there though. Then improve the script system to be game mode based, and voila, you have any game mode the community can imagine. That's actually a very good point. If you can enhance the scripting abilities in Forge to such a degree where you can do a lot more things with the built-in game modes, and obviously have the built-in game modes from the start. So have your Oddball, your King of the Hill, your Capture the Flag, and all the other, what would normally be considered base game mode for Halo, then there's a lot of power for the community to create their own kinds of game modes. I mean, just look at what we get in Action Sack.
Yeah. The biggest thing I'd have to say is just give us the tools to create the game modes that we want to create.
Yeah, set win conditions, set point scoring conditions. Do that based off of whether a certain weapon or object is being held, and heck, maybe even have more objects to interact with other than an oddball or a skull or a flag. Maybe have some other different objects that you can hold, and those objects can have different traits associated to them too. It's almost like you're giving gamers pseudo dev tools within the confines of a game engine. And we've seen a glimpse of that in Halo 5. I think having a scripting system that just continues to push the boundaries of what Halo 5 has done with Forge will just make the possibilities near limitless. And that's exciting.
Sorry, I came around a corner and found a Wraith. It kind of surprise.
Surprise! We have one more response over on Facebook, and this one is from Billy Mayer. He says, there are 3 game modes I would like to come back for Halo Infinite. Ricochet, Regicide, and Headhunters. Yes, Headhunters would be a lot of fun.
I never really got Headhunters. I never really played it.
It's an
I
odd
played
one.
it long enough to get my achievement, and that was it.
It has its moments. Someone also modded it into Halo 4, and that was kind of fun to play there as well. But it's definitely a different game mode. I think it is very dependent on the map for its success, but it's kind of one of those quirky little fun game modes. I think it was Bungie's response to Call of Duty's Confirmed Kill, where you go pick up the dog tags after you kill a player in Call of Duty. So you have the skulls and it's Headhunter. And getting that skull Manjaro was always satisfying. It was hard to pull off, but if you pulled it off, it was really satisfying. Ricochet is one of those where I think if you just have a ball mode, kind of how they've done for Halo 5, then you can implement Ricochet, you can implement Griff Ball, and I think there's a lot of other things that you can do with just that ball type of game. We've seen Skee Ball kind of come out from it. There's like the golf hole one where you had the two teams try to score their golf ball first into a hole that was in the middle of the map. So I think if you just make a generic ball type of a game mode, then you could have all that stuff already supported out, and who knows what else could be done with that. They kind of already have that. It's just a matter of how they would expand on it. Regicide, I'm drawing a blank on what Regicide was.
Regicide was the person in the lead would get a marker over their head, and whoever killed that person got extra points, or
that's right,
silly like that.
That's right. And I think there was a crazy Regicide at one point where the target would change to different people, so it wouldn't necessarily be the person with the highest score.
Maybe. Oh, the bloom is real.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that's all the submissions that we got for this. What about you, GT? What would be a game mode that you would like to see either introduced or make a comeback in Halo?
Invasion.
That's a good one. They have to bring elites back first. I guess they don't have to, but
well, yeah,
it makes the experience a little more enjoyable. Is not necessarily the right word, but immersive, I guess, for lack of a better term. And maybe that's just because that's how Invasion first came out. But having that Covenant versus UNSC it was an interesting dynamic, and it really lent to the Invasion game mode as a small storytelling element within the match itself. But yeah, Invasion's a good one. Other than the obvious one for me being a Battle Royale type of game mode, because I think Halo plays really well into that. And I'm hoping they have enough scripting to support creating that game mode just with the Forge options and the custom game options in Infinite. But outside of that, there hasn't really been anything else that's stuck out to me. Racing, I would like to see make a comeback, because that's, again, one of those things that's been in the game since Halo 1, and it's just something that is fun but not too sweaty at the same time. I mean, it could get sweaty depending on the map, but it's usually not sweaty to start with. I would like to see, if it's not necessarily Invasion, some kind of more progressive multiplayer type of thing. So kind of like Warzone Assault, but not done necessarily. Well, I guess you could kind of keep the Warzone Assault, but maybe extend upon it, change it up a little bit, but have that progression type thing. Because Invasion, you have it to where you have the 3 different stages that you progress on, and then Warzone Assault has that same kind of mentality. So maybe a mix of the two would be good. Because with Reach, you had the different loadouts that you could pick depending on which wave that you went with. And I think that's a little bit more of a level playing field compared to Warzone, where someone could just call in a super powerful weapon and it's kind of unbalanced. So I think going a little bit more back to the invasion style would be good, but obviously have some kind of middle ground between more as an assault and invasion as far as feature sets and whatnot. Being able to script that too. So like the Left 4 Dead game modes that people would make in customs where the humans would have to either wait in a certain area until something unlocked or they have to destroy something to progress on?
Yeah. It was an infection model. That's...
So some kind of conglomeration of that game mode is something I think I would enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for our main discussion topic. Next week, since they actually doubled the capacity for the Insider program or the Insider flight for this ring, we're going to have the topic next week be just the community's response to the flighting. Most of the people that I've seen on social media have gotten into the second flight ring or the third flight ring, but the second wave. So they basically opened the floodgates and they're really trying to stress test the servers here. So give people a chance to give their feedback and comments and all that kind of stuff regarding the Reach flight. So that'll be the discussion topic for next week. And the poll results for the next book that we're going to do. What do you think it is, GT? Have you seen the results yet? There's Silent Storm and Broken Circle.
I'm thinking Broken Circle.
Well, survey is not in your favor. Across Twitter, Facebook, and Discord, 21 votes to Broken Circle. Wait, you said Broken Circle?
Yes, it did.
Sorry, you were correct. 21 votes to Broken Circle, 14 votes to Silent Storm. I foobarred that
I only
one.
looked on Twitter. I didn't look on Facebook, so
yes, we will be reading Broken Circle for our next novel, which is the oldest novel which I haven't read, aside from all the short story ones with evolutions and all Tales from Subspace and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'll be reading Broken Circle for the 4th time, and this time I will finish it so we can talk about it. So start reading that. We will review that and talk about that sometime in November. It'll either be the beginning of November to the middle of November. We'll keep you apprised of my progress. But Broken Circle is going to be next. So dig out your Kindles, dig out your audiobooks, dig out your paperbacks, whatever you have, start reading it, and we'll dive into that one as our next novel. We will do some other short story probably between now and then. So when we decide on what short story we're going to do next, we will let you know that one as well. Any final words, GT?
Nope. Thanks for tuning in, and feel free to come join us in the Halo Insider.
Yep. We are going to be hopping over to do some Reach Invasion after we're done recording here. But before we do that, I'm going to close out the show as normal. So thanks everyone for tuning in, whether you tuned in via the live streams on Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube, or you tuning in via downloads through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever you are. Thank you for listening and watching. You can find us on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. when we record our podcast live. You can also find live streams from us on Friday nights starting around 8:30, which is our Fraggin' Fridays, hosted by Godzilla T. And then I have my achievement streams on Sundays at 10 p.m. with the Insider going on. This next week will just be an Insider stream. So no achievements will be sought after. We will be doing more achievements the following week. And like I mentioned earlier, I will be going with Laird, and we should be able to get Halo Wars Definitive Edition complete, which will be a lot of fun to get that one done. You can also find us on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can also join our Discord server, where we have the community chatting it up in there throughout the week. You can also find us on our Spartan Company and Xbox Club. Just search Podtacular wherever you are, and you will find it there. Again, a reminder for next week's topic, we're going to be discussing everyone's opinions on the Reach Insider Flight number 3, which is the PvP one. So if you have a chance to hop in, definitely do so. They're looking for anyone and everyone who has been invited to play and really stress test the system. Seems like depending on how well these tests go, we might see Reach have an official release in the next 2 or 3 months-ish. It seems like it will be out before the end of the year.
I should hope so.
At this rate, that's what it seems like. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Head on over to the Reach Insider if you're a part of it, if you're listening to us live. For those downloading the show, thanks again for downloading and listening. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Until then, keep on fragging them trucks.